guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my first ever tag video. So this tag is called the All-Star Palette tag. I believe it was originally created by Mandy Leah and Samantha Much on YouTube. So I'll leave their original video links down below. But one of you guys actually suggested for me to do this video, and when I watched their videos, I was like, yes, this would be so much fun to do. Pretty much the All-Star tag is sharing your favorite shades from your favorite palette. But for my video, I do want to put a little bit of a twist on it. I'm going to create my dream palette. If I ever had the opportunity to create an eyeshadow palette, this is what my eyeshadow palette would consist of. These are my top favorite shades that I use the most often, and a lot of these shades are from Colourpop. That's just what I know best and what I use the most as well. So I'm picking out 14 shades for my dream 14 pan eyeshadow palette, and I decided to pick 14 specifically. I feel like that's a reasonable number for an eyeshadow palette. Like Anastasia has 14 shadows, Colourpop has 12 and 16, so I was like, let's go in the middle of Colourpop. So I picked out 14 dream palette shades that I would love to have in my dream palette if I could ever make one. We all have this big crazy dream that we would want to achieve one day, and that is mine. That is the gist of the video. I hope you guys will continue watching and hopefully you enjoy my first ever tag. I saw that Samantha has another tag that she created. It's called the palette tag. It's pretty new. Let me know if you guys want to see that as well, but for today let's focus on my dream all-star palette. So I'm just gonna scoot to the side because I want to give you some swatches. So we're gonna roll up the sleeves, and by the end of the video this arm would be full of my dream palette. So the first shade is from the Nude Mood palette, and it is called Wink Wink. Wink Wink is a super shock shadow from Colourpop. I think this is the most beautiful champagne light gold in a corner highlight shade or just all over your lid. I use this so much. The glitters really sparkle through. There's a lot of specks of glitters that really shimmer really nicely. If you were to be under direct sunlight, this would glimmer so well. It will look like the Kera Kera app. I don't even think you guys can even see this on camera, but I will do close-ups for you guys. The second shade comes from the It's a Princess palette from the Disney collaboration that Colourpop did, and it is the shade Triton. So Triton to me is like my most perfect transition shadow. I love the tone of this. It's not too warm, and I think the tone of it just suits my skin tone really well. If anything that I would change about Triton is that this is more of like a satin formulation, so there is a bit of a sheen to it. It's not a complete matte, so I definitely would prefer this to be a complete matte. It's just a perfect like everyday transition shadow to have. The third shadow comes from Give It To Me Straight, and it is the shade called Truth Hurts. Truth Hurts would be my second transition shadow that I would like to have in my palette, and Truth Hurts is a little bit different from Triton. It is more peachy. It has more of like an orange underbase rather than a brown, and I think just having these two transition shadows in a palette is quite necessary. Sometimes you just don't want a brown transition shadow. You want to use more peachy colors or more orange and a little bit warmer shades. I would go in with Truth Hurts, and the tone of it is again very similar to Triton, where it just suits my skin tone so perfectly. And for transition shadows, it really paves the way for the direction that your eye look is gonna go into. So if I wanted something a little bit more neutral and earthy, I would go in with Triton. If I wanted something a little bit more warm, a little bit brighter but not too bright, I would go in with Truth Hurts. And the fourth shade is from Dream Street. It is the shade called Shooting Star. This is such a beautiful metallic shadow. Shooting Star definitely stands out to me. I think it's such a pretty shade of a rose gold. It definitely has a bit of like a red undertone in it. I think it's just so flattering against my skin tone. I think it's a perfect shade to put on your lids at the inner third with a dark outer corner. Very pretty shadow. For the fifth shade, we're gonna go back into the Princess palette, and I'm gonna take Abu. Abu is my perfect medium chocolate brown. It's the perfect medium tone, and it is super warm, and that's what I love, and it translates really warm on the eyes as well. And as you can see, the first 5 shadows here, you could definitely use it already together. They complement each other so well. It has that same sort of romantic soft glam vibe, and Abu is such a beautiful medium brown. What I look for in palettes is to have a light, a medium, and a dark. So I gave you some transitions. I'm now giving you a medium brown. You're gonna get the light, medium, and dark with the shimmers and with the mattes as well. So Abu, just such a perfect medium brown that I love so much. Alright, and for the 6th shadow, we are going back into Give It To Me Straight. You can kind of see what palettes I really like. So the 6th shadow that I'm going to take is BS, and BS is going to be my orange medium tone. So Abu was my brown medium tone, and BS would be my orange one. I think this is going to complement Truth Hurts as a slightly deeper shadow just to deepen out the outer corners, and I feel like for a burnt orange, you can't go wrong with that. You can see the pattern that I am going into. And the 7th shadow is going to come from Through My Eyes. This is in collaboration with I Love Cedar E, but I'm gonna take the shade Mesmer-eyez. Mesmer-eyez is such a beautiful shade, and this formulation is also very different. It's actually quite similar to the Super Shock shadow, where it has a lot of specks of glitters peeking through. Like, this would look so amazing underneath direct sunlight. It just shimmers so well, and I love the undertone of this. It is like an orange gold, so it has like an orange underbase, but the glitters that speckle through is gold, so you have a mixture of that orangey gold shadow. And then you can see the first 7 shadows. You can use the transition, then deepen out the outer corner with the medium tone, and then place any of these shimmers at the inner third of your eyes, and that would just be a go-to look of mine. I love Mesmer-eyez. You can put Mesmer-eyez all over your lids as well, just plain and simple on top of Truth Hurts as a transition maybe. But yeah, Mesmer-eyez, beautiful shade. The 8th shadow is coming from Brown Sugar, and I'm gonna take the shade Auburn. It is another metallic shadow, but this one is going to be my dark metallic shadow. So like I mentioned before, I want to give you light, medium, and dark metallic and matte, and this is essentially going to be my dark shadow. So whenever you want to create a dark smoky eye and you want to add a bit of metallic to blend in with those dark shadows, I would go in with Auburn. It has the perfect warm toasty brown undertone to it that I love so much. This is gonna just give you the ultimate chocolate vibes, so Auburn would be my dark metallic. Alright, 9th shadow, we are going back into the Nude Mood palette. I'm gonna take the shade Moody, which is a dark matte brown. I think just for an everyday palette, you must have a dark matte brown in here. Like, it's just necessary to really deepen out the outer corner. If you want to create a smoky eye, Moody has that really rich, warm brown undertone, which I really love, and it does translate really well. I think if anything, if I could change anything about Moody, I personally would make it a little bit darker and deeper. I feel like it's still a little bit more to the medium dark side. I would want Moody to be a little bit darker than what it is. And for my 10th shadow, we are going to go into the Blush Crush palette. I'm going to take the shade Made You Blush, and this is going to be another transition shadow, but this is definitely a lot more pink. It's not in the warm neutral side like Triton or Truth Hurts that I mentioned earlier. As you can see, this one is very pink, and Made You Blush also has a bit of glitter in it. I think Colourpop calls this as a satin shade, so I personally would take out a bit of the glitters, and I would make You Blush slightly more mauve, not as pink, but I would still keep that pink undertone in there. But other than my neutral shades, I love wearing pink shadows. I think pink is so complementary against brown eyes, and I think it just looks really great against my skin tone, so I enjoy wearing pink shadows a lot, and I think Made You Blush would be a really pretty transition shadow to set that tone. The 11th shadow is also coming from Blush Crush. I'm gonna take Enamored, and this is a really pretty soft light metallic pink shadow. It almost has like a sheen of orange in it, but this definitely would complement Made You Blush. It is the metallic shadow that I am currently wearing on my eyes today, but this is such a pretty light pink metallic shadow, and I wanted a metallic shadow that was going to complement the pink side of this dream palette that I'm trying to create here. The 12th shade, I'm going back into the Give It To Me Straight palette once again. I'm gonna take the shade TMI. TMI is a medium tone berry shadow, and again, I want to give you a medium tone for the pink side of this palette, but TMI definitely does pull more berry, a little bit more purple rather than pink, but I think deepening out the outer corners with this medium berry is very beautiful, and it does complement the pink shadows. And the 13th shadow is coming from the Whatever palette, and I'm gonna take Miss Brightside. I believe Miss Brightside you can purchase as a single shadow, but this is the most beautiful dark plum purple burgundy shadow ever. The formulation on this purple is unreal. Like usually with dark purples, they typically can be quite patchy, but this one is so smooth, it's so pigmented. There is a bit of fallout with it because of the pigmentation is so intense, but this is just the most easiest purple shadow to blend out. So this little quad here, I'm wearing that on my eyes, and that is going to be like the pink side of this palette. And for the last and final 14th shadow for my dream palette is just a black matte eyeshadow. So I know Colourpop has one, it's called Let's Do It, but I'm just going to show you this one from NYX. It's a single shadow, it's their primal eyeshadow. I use this matte black shadow almost every single day. You can always use this to deepen out the outer corner. So for example, if Moody wasn't dark enough for me, I would go in with this black. I always use a black matte shadow to smudge out my wing liner. You could even use it as a wing liner. I think just having a black is honestly so important in a palette for me personally. And this, you guys, is my top 14 shadows. This is my all-star palette. If I could ever create an eyeshadow palette, these are the type of shadows that I definitely would put in. These are the shades that I gravitate towards a lot. I did film a couple of looks for you guys using these specific shades, so we are just going to move into that section right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed those looks. They are pretty basic, but those are the types of looks that I typically would create. So hopefully you guys did enjoy them and got to see, like, you know, the palette in action, although these shades are already existing. I hope you guys enjoyed this tag. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it so much if you did. Let me know down below, what do you guys think of my dream palette? Like, would you guys purchase this if you saw these shades? I know they can be pretty basic, nothing so unique, but these are the tones that I do love, and being realistic, these are the shades that I wear like literally every single day. So there's not like any bright, fun, unique colors, but something about these tones, it's just what I adore. But yeah, you guys, that is going to complete today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!